So now, based on the construction material bifurcation of pile, timber pile, concrete pile, steel piles, composite piles. Piles are further divided into treated and untreated pile. Concrete pile are further divided into precast and cast in situ pile. Steel piles are further divided into I section piles and hollow pipes. And composite piles are timber with precast and steel with cast in situ pile. The most common used pile in India is concrete pile, that to cast in situ. And where shoring is required, there we can use steel piles. So now we will come in sequencing of pile. We are going to discuss in this particular section about dry pile. So what all various activities involved in piling? The very first thing, based on geotechnical investigation, we will drill the pile up to our required level. After that, we will insert reinforcement, the cage which is designed as per drawing. After that, we will pour concrete and finally finished coil. This is the various levels which usually we will maintain. This is pile founding level, means the resting level of pile. Pile cutoff level means pile top. Concrete top level means we will do 1 meter extra concreting, considering that there are some harmful substance available at the bottom of the pile, and when we are pouring concrete by pressure, that substance will come up. So no, because of that, we will do 1 meter or 1.5 meter extra concrete. So this is called pile cutoff level. Existing ground level, everyone knows that the ground level which is available. And casting top level, casing top level. To drill a pile, we will use some casings. Casing is nothing, it's a kind of glass which will use to align our piles. This is our casing top level. So now what all different challenges which are involved in piling work? Deviation in geotechnical data while boring. Suppose your geotechnical data shows that 4 meters from your ground level, you are supposed to get a rock, but you are not getting. Then what an engineer will do? In that particular time, there are two things. First of all, you can refer to your designer that after 4 meters, I am not getting my particular rock, so what I can do? So he can suggest. Second thing is that by the means of your boring, means if you're using a piling rig, the energy of that piling rig with the help of that rock capacity, it will be converted into a per meter boring area. Like for mat 180, if UCS value is somewhere around 50, then in 1 hour you can able to bore around 750 mm of pile. So that can be countered by that only. Second important challenge which an engineer face while executing a pile is pile collapse and bulk foundation. Pile collapse means after your liner, if there is some loose soil, it will start collapsing in your bore, and further it will form a bulb there. So the best part to overcome this is you can use a 4 or 5 meter liner which can be removed after piling, and bulb formation can be taken care while concreting. Third important factor which an engineer faced during execution of pile is cage tilting and damage resting hook. While lowering down a cage, suppose your cage is not vertical, means something went wrong during piling, so your cage is not vertical. So what you will do? In that case, you have to remove that cage, you have to introduce a bucket for cleaning of pile, and after that you can again lower down the cage. Fourth important thing, while doing concreting, there is a pipe which used to build pressure so that concrete will flow from top to bottom with pressure. That can be chalk. So there is no codal provisions which can say that you can remove the trimmy pipe and you can reintroduce it. But practically, we can remove the trimmy pipe, we can clean it, and we can reinsert it. But make sure that your trimmy pipe should be 1.5 meter inserted in concrete. Fourth is non-achievement of required level. The pile is a component of concrete which should be poured in a single shot. Suppose whatever concrete you have called, that will be short, means your pile is not achieved to your required level. Then what is to be done? Then we are supposed to leave that pile there only. We can consult with designer that what all difference is there, and after taking designer consent, we can prepare a built up on that. After built up, we can check our routine testing there. If it will satisfy, then we can go further. So this is sequencing of piling activities. This is piling rig, means this is a photo which is taken while starting a pile. This is piling rig. This is the tool called auger, okay, by which a drilling will be done. Second photo you can see, this is lowering down a cage, and you can see a pipe which is called trimmy pipe. This is the photo for while concreting. This is the you can see a conical flask. It is called con or hopper. The casing which I am talking about, you can see the collar of that casing. This is the concrete which has to be done in single shot. So now we'll come about pile cap or foundation, pile cap or open foundation. So what is a pile cap? Pile cap is a thick concrete mat that can rest on concrete, which can transfer load to all pile equally. Suppose in a pile group there are 4 piles. So the load from superstructure will come to pier. From pier it will come to pile cap. Now it's a responsibility of pile cap to transfer that load equally to all piles, so that the failure of design and failure of component will not done. So what all practical things which we are supposed to check while executing a pile cap? Excavation up to pile cutoff level. As per design criteria, our pile should be embarked 75 into pile cap. So an engineer must ensure that whatever our digging is there or whatever excavation is there, it should be 75 below our pile top. Leveling and surface of PCC. After doing excavation, we should level the soil, and after that we will do PCC, plain cement concrete. Then after we will do survey to mark the points and accurate position of pile cap, and after that we can start reinforcement. Once your reinforcement will complete, then we will introduce our formwork for concreting. After fixing of formwork, we will fix our pier reinforcement. Pier means a shaft which is connecting pile cap to superstructure. That reinforcement will be introduced while doing pile cap only, and after that final survey stand for checking of that pile cap and pier reinforcement are in position as per drawing coordinates or not, and final concreting. Open foundation. So suppose we are able to get rock and at 2 meter or 3 meters where piling is not required, then we can go for open foundation. Open foundation is a kind of concrete mask which will transfer load from superstructure to ground. So the main thing which should be kept in mind while doing open foundation is that the minimum anchorage in open foundation should be 600 in rock. So the various step involved in casting of open foundation is, the very first thing, rock breaking up to required level. The rock breaking up to required level is a first step which an engineer will going to do. After breaking of rock, he will do the leveling, and after that he will do PCC. After that, all steps are same which we have seen in pile cap: survey, fixing of reinforcement, fixing of side shutters, fixing of pier reinforcement. After that, final survey and concreting. So now, what all physical challenges which are involved in executing pile and pile cap? Non-anchorage of pipe in pile cap. The very first important thing is that we should make sure that our pile, sorry, it's a pile, not pipe. So the most important thing which we should keep in our mind while executing a pile cap is that the minimum anchorage of pile and pile cap should be available before concreting, because if it should not be available, then there are chances of design failure, and which can able to affect our whole viaduct. Uncontinuous arrangement of earthing. So the earthing bar is the important factors in pile and pile cap, because our whole system is electrical system. So earthing is very much required. So the earthing bar should be connected with all pipe to pile cap center, and it should be extended up to pier. So that is an important factor which an engineer should keep in mind. The third important factor, improper positioning of pier vertical reinforcement. So the positioning of pier is very, very, very much important, because after casting, if you can able to realize that your pier position is not okay, then there is no remedy of that particular pier. We have to adjust in superstructure, which will create lot of melodrama. So an engineer should cap the position of pier cap twice, thrice, 4 times up to his satisfaction level. Improper shuttering arrangement. This is also one of the important factor while performing pile cap. Our formwork and supporting should be proper, because if that is not proper, while concreting, there are chances of uplifting of shuttering, which will spoil your foundation and your pier also. Improper shuttering formwork arrangement, same as shuttering arrangement. Water seepage from bottom. after completing our formwork, we should seal our formwork from bottom, because whatever concrete we are bringing, it should contact some water. So when we will flow that concrete into pile cap, there are chances of seepage of water from bottom, which will spoil our foundation, and further it will affect the quality and strength of foundation. So these are some practical aspects which an engineer should take care while executing this. Now you can able to see some pictures. The first picture shows a kind of pile foundation. In this is pile cap mat with pier reinforcement. Second photo you can see the pier reinforcement, you can able to see. Third is the formwork. Now pier shaft. The pier shaft, it's a kind of substructure which is connecting your foundation to your superstructure. The most important thing which we should kept in mind while fixing a pier shaft is your horizontal reinforcement or link, because pier shaft is completely based on your horizontal reinforcement. Vertical reinforcement is a supporting reinforcement, and your horizontal reinforcement is a load bearing reinforcement. So what all various steps involved in this binding of pier shaft? The very first thing is fixing of reinforcement. In last slide we can see that we have fixed the vertical reinforcement of pier while doing pile cap only. After that, as per design, we will fix our horizontal reinforcement. Fixing of drainage pipe. So water which is coming from superstructure should be removed from inside way to median. So that fixing of drainage pipe is most important, and the opening of drainage pipe should be 1.5 meter above from your ground level. Erection of support from framework, you can able to see one picture which is showing this blue color formwork. In this you can able to see the supports. That erection should be proper and should be okay. Erection of formwork and concreting, these all are various steps involved while casting of pier. Now, what are important things which an engineer should take care while casting a pier shaft? All of our present structures are earthquake resistant structures. And the most important thing which we should keep in mind, that our mastering, which is covering a complete area of pier, the joint of mastering should be alternate. This is one important thing which we should keep in mind. Second thing, cover. The cover in between concrete and reinforcement should be maintained properly, because if cover will not maintain properly, there are chances of cracks which is unrepairable, means it is visible for everyone. Third important thing which we are supposed to take care while doing form work, the alignment of form work, it should be properly bolted with your tower, because while concreting, if your tower will open, then there is no other remedy to cut that pier out and relay it. So these are some practical challenges which an engineer should take care while casting a pier shaft. The first of four important things: top survey. Our plumb and top survey should be 0, 0. In the case of heighted pier, if you maintain a error of 2 or 3 from bottom, then it will come up to 25 meters up to reaching top. So these all important factors which an engineer should take care while executing a pier shaft. Now pier cap. Cap stand for a cap like pile cap and pier cap. So the pier shaft, whatever your the place where your superstructure will rest, that is called pier cap, which is bigger than your pier. So there are 4 to 5 types of pier caps which are available or which are being executed in India. Flared or normal pier cap, it is having some radius shape, having a top flat surface, that is called normal pier cap. Rectangular pier cap, it is having rectangular shape in which your superstructure will rest. Extended pier cap, where the superstructure belongs to I girder or concrete girders or steel girders, or you can say box girders. There the pier cap will be extended from your pier dimensions to take care of that additional place requirement. Fourth is cantilever pier cap, the most difficult and the most challenging pier cap which are executed by Indians in India. So the cantilever pier cap, the center line of your alignment is not matching with the center line of your pier cap. Okay, due to some XYZ reason, due to some land constraint, or due to some XYZ constraint, that pier is called cantilever pier cap. It is having a projected cantilever part. The main drawback of this pier cap is that this pier cap can develop cracks in near future. So usually engineers and designers are avoid giving this pier cap. Portal beam. Portal beams are used where this minimum radius or radius is more, and you cannot able to cop up that radius into your superstructure or your box girder, where then portal beam is used. The portal beam usually stand with two piers which is connected by a beam, in which we can able to cater the radius or the super elevation. So the casting of pier cap or the sequence of pier cap is same as pier. Now we'll come on pedestals and seismic arrestor. The pedestal is a concrete component. It is very small component. You can able to see. I can show you. You can able to see above pier cap there is a small concrete component. This is called pedestal. So the main work of pedestal is to provide a flat surface to fix our bearing, and also whatever level mistake which we have did from foundation to pier cap, that can be adjusted into this pier pedestal. It is having its standard size. Its reinforcement is inbuilt with pier cap. Above pier cap, above this pedestal, your bearing will directly placed means basically it will depend upon various factors. Okay, and seismic arrestor is something to arrest your superstructure so that it should not de-aligned while moving of trains. So this is bearing. The heart of any viaduct is bearing. Bearing is nothing, it's a structural member which is placed in between superstructure and substructure. The basic principle of this bearing is to transmit load from superstructure to substructure and to accommodate the relative movements from superstructure to substructure. So bearing is a part of superstructure only. There are four common type of bearings which are being used in India. First is elastomatic bearing, second is sliding bearing, third is high load multi-rotational bearing, and fourth is fabricated steel mechanical bearing. The most common bearing used in India is elastomatic bearing, which is further divided into three parts: plain elastomatic plates, steel reinforcement elastic plate, and cotton plates. The most important thing the engineer should keep while using this bearing is the level. The bearing should be placed in 0 0 level, because if your bearing is not in 0 0 level, that will directly impact your superstructure and your RTL levels. So this is some photos of horizontal and vertical bearing. Two type of bearing basically used in elevated metros. First is horizontal bearing. The photo first and second show you a part of a kind of elastomatic horizontal bearing. The photo 3 and 4 show you a kind of vertical bearing. Basically, vertical bearings are used in seismic arresters, and it can able to relieve your relative movements which is coming from your superstructures. So now we'll come about deck or superstructure in which the trains will directly run. So the four common superstructure which is being used in India is segmental box culvert, I girder with concrete duct slab, steel girder with concrete duct slab, and U girder with book or duct slab. So you can able to see one photo. It is basically shows extended pier cap with a steel eye girder. So segmental box girder it's a small segments of concrete, usually 1.950 to 3 meter ranging. It will be erected by the means of launcher. So this is called segmental box gullet. Above segmental box gullet, you can directly lay your plinth beam. Eye girder with concrete duct slab. This process is usually very common in highways. Above our pier cap, we will keep our concrete eye girders, and above that, we will do our concrete duct slab. Steel girders with concrete duct slab, where our span is relatively big, like above 40-45 meters. For a segmental box girder, the maximum span which we can erect is 34 meters. Above that, we are supposed to design launcher with a specific depth and height. I girder with concrete duct slab, we can able to do up to 35 meter. Steel girder, we can able to do up to 90 meters based on continuous span. U girders a replacement of segmental box girder. U girders, it's a complete 25 meters girder which is U in shape, in which we can directly run our trains or directly cast our plinth beams. These are some common superstructures ducts which is used in India widely. Segmental box girder launching. In last slide, we have read the first topic, segmental box girder. So there are four type of arrangements available in India to launch a segmental box girder. First is double truss type launcher. So this is a kind of Chinese launcher in which there are two trusses which we can able to use to launch a segmental box girder. The main advantage of this type of launcher is it is completely based on electrical system, and it can able to cater your minimum radius or your sharp curve for 34 meter up to 155 meters. Cantilever type box girder is also a kind of option where which can be used in place of double truss type of launcher, but the drawback of this type of launcher is that it is based on hydraulic movement, which is a time taking job. Means to do auto launching it will take almost 8 hours. Comparing that, our double truss type launcher will take some 30-35 minutes. After that, normal box launcher, this normal type of box launcher is used where your curvature is not there, where your viaduct is straight, because it cannot able to cater the radius. But if you want to cater the radius with this type of box launcher, we have to use external support, which is not feasible due to space constraint. The fourth is underslung and ground supporting system. Underslung and ground supporting system is just like scaffolding. In this underslung or ground supporting system, we will this erect this particular design system. Above that, one steel grid will be there, in which segment will be placed by the cranes, and the alignment of same will be done. Now, casting of plinth beam and fixing of rail. The last topic or the last point of this presentation and viaduct is casting of plinth beam and fixing of rail. The plinth beam is something which is cast over your superstructure. Okay, it will provide a base to your rail in which your rolling stock or your train will run. The casting of plinth beam, basically the height of plinth beam is 251 mm, and the width of is and the plinth beam is around 400 mm. The reinforcement of this plinth beam will be available in superstructure. Based on your mixed design, the plinth will be casted. Above plinth, the fixing of rail will be done. The most important thing which will used while casting of this plinth beam is that depth of this plinth beam. The depth of this plinth beam should be minimum 200 mm in any case, because whatever bolts we are using to fix that rail, it is having a minimum clearance of 186 mm. If your plinth beam thickness will go below 200 mm, then we cannot able to fix your rail on plinth beam. Then we have to dig it in our superstructure, which is not feasible. Now, fixing of rail. There are special type of rails, H type of rails, which are commonly used in metros, which is being prepared in India by various renowned companies. The height of that rail is 216 mm. It will be fixed by bolt on sleepers. This is ballastless sleeper. The metro viaduct is basically based on ballastless sitter. Any Z means northing, easting, and Z coordinate of this track plinth is compulsorily checked by engineer, because any deviation in this plinth will be not acceptable, and your casting plinth will completely damage.